Hello, please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about the crypto markets, a little bit about Elon Musk and his new feature that is using sort of crypto technology. I'll explain that. But first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? And it's not me, I lost some weight. But October is over, right? And it wasn't the best month. It was actually the first month, first October in the last 6 years where Bitcoin was red, XRP was red. We'll talk a little bit about that and what we can look forward for in Movember, right? Maybe I got a birthday this month at the end of the month, so maybe we'll see some positive news. Hopefully, you had a nice Halloween and you didn't eat too much candy. All I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. Smishity smash that like button because it's Saturday, and you know Saturday likes are the best kind of likes. So now's the time to click it. And let's get into it. As always, remember, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Currently, XRP is sitting at $2.05, 2.5, right at that level. XRP basically with the rest of the market. Although if we look at the crypto bubbles, there are some big movers, right? So sometimes we see big moves like this in the market prior to a potential big movement. Again, that doesn't happen every single time, but I've observed that this has happened in the past when suddenly assets that suddenly start moving big values with no real big news, then that's what happens. Another thing that doesn't concern me really is the fact that the sell-off that we saw, the last 3 days before yesterday, which was a green day, it didn't come off bad news. It actually came off good news. And if you saw my video yesterday and my theory on the market, what could be happening, we could have a big player that is closing some positions because of this day here, right? That they got hurt significantly, or maybe even the sell-off that happened here. And they needed to close some positions because, for example, their creditors were saying, hey, we're going to give you 2 weeks maybe. And, exactly that 2 weeks was this end of the week where the crypto market was selling off, whereas the stock market was doing okay. So that's my theory, right? That there's some big, firm or something like that got hurt significantly on 10 October 10th, and got 2 weeks from creditors and started selling off assets towards the end of that week to cover some of their losses. So that's my theory on why we saw that sell-off. And you can see here, XRP fails expectation with a minus 11 dip. We can see here, right, the monthly chart, 1 month, and you can see what a crazy monthly candle, red. But it wasn't just XRP, even Bitcoin, that historically has always been good in October, was red. Okay, Ethereum was red. Everybody was red on the month. So I don't read too much into it. Of course, the October 10th, if we're kind of making a monthly recap on the situation that we had here, the 10-10 sell-off was unexpected. It was an anomaly. It was a black swan event. And we always have to be ready for those types of actions and those types of things that can happen. If you are long on your positions, then, it didn't really affect you, but a lot of people were affected by this situation. So again, we have to take that into consideration, that things like that can happen. Okay, very, very important to remember. Also, I just want to remind you that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or to send me any money. Those are scammers. I'm not sending you any DMs, not on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. That's not me. Okay. Please be very careful out there. The only thing that I have started now is the email list. And if you're interested and you want to sign up, you can sign up. I'm also now giving the Avi Amazing Indicator, right? The 1348 indicator as a gift to people that sign up through my links to my partners. So if you are interested in that, then you can fill out the second part of the form. If you are not interested, just put NA on the exchange values, okay? And that way, if anything happens, we've seen a lot of shenanigans recently. I was on a 1 week vacation that I didn't want. I can contact you and we can talk and I can tell you, hey, everything's okay. Don't worry. Just this is the situation. But I'm trying to be a lot more careful now. If you've noticed, the titles, the thumbnails are a little bit more conservative recently. It might affect the amount of views that every single video gets, but better safe than sorry, right? And so we have now 3 months. We have to be very careful. Okay. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Again, these are partners of the channel. So if you do sign up using my link, I will get a commission. And if you use mine and not someone else's, it helps support the channel, right? If we do have to go on vacation again, this helps me out, okay? So if you're interested, link is in the description down below. And you have the email list, of course. So there's been a lot of talk about recently the XRP ETFs, right? Because Solana ETFs and Litecoin ETFs and HBAR ETFs, they all went live. But why? What happened there with the XRP ETFs? Why didn't they file that specific thing that needed to be filed in order to go live under the government shutdown? Why didn't that happen? Very strange. I don't know why, but they are doing amendments. Bitwise and VanEck have submitted update filings for their XRP S1 applications. And Eric also updated us here. Eric from Bloomberg updated that Bitwise just updated their XRP ETF filing to include exchange, New York Stock Exchange, and fee of 0.34%, which are typically the last boxes to check. Amendment number 4. So we're getting closer and closer, and you can see James, also from Bloomberg. Those are the two guys, James and Eric, if you're interested in ETF coverage. Also Eleanor, she's also very good. Bitwise Invest and VanEck join crew of issuers filing potentially launch crypto products next month, November. Earlier, we had Fidelity and Canary funds file for Solana in this way, and also had Canary file for XRP. Will be interesting to see how this plays out. It looks like with high probability, again, nothing is for sure, that we're going to see the XRP ETFs in the next coming weeks. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for that. Again, we don't know how that is going to affect the price of XRP. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to be amazing, right? Remember, the Ethereum ETFs that started, it wasn't that great, right? The Bitcoin were. So far, Solana and HBAR and Litecoin haven't been that great yet. So although HBAR was the only one that maybe had the most largest move there on the news, right? I think it was like 15% when the news came out, even 20%. But we don't know, because since then it's pulled back a little bit. So again, this is potentially good news long term. Initially when the ETFs come out, it's not like people are waiting at the door and they're like, please give me XRP ETFs. I don't think that's happening, right? So we need to be very careful. Even when the news comes out, there could be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of action into that date. I know a lot of people, a lot of the XRP YouTubers are saying, oh, November this, November that. I don't know. I don't remember the date because it's relevant only if you are short-term trading that specific asset. Okay. If you're long-term investing in XRP, that is what I am doing right now. Then again, if XRP is at this value or that value, it's just numbers on your portfolio. Okay. So that's very, very important to remember. Okay, again, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. These are only my views. You have to decide for you what is relevant for you and how you want to act and behave. Okay, this was interesting. Treasury Secretary Bessent just tweeted about Bitcoin. 17 years after the white paper, the Bitcoin network is still operational and more resilient than ever. Bitcoin never shuts down. Senator Democrats could learn something from that. That's a little bit of a squeeze on the fact that the US government is still shut down. And even though it's still shut down, the markets are doing okay. We talked about a few days ago why it's not really affecting the stock markets, why it could be affecting crypto markets, but very, very interesting, on that. And, just it's not a direct, reference, right? Although Secretary Bessent did reference Bitcoin directly, but interestingly, Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan's show, and he mentioned that they are adding chat to X. If you don't know, Elon wants to transform the X app into something similar to what a WeChat is. In that big country, right, China, where WeChat is an app that it's basically the everything app. If you've ever been, you can pay with it, you can chat with it, you can do everything with it, like a lot of things, not everything, but that's Elon's, big dream. And so he already filed for many money transfer licenses in the U.S. And the theory is that they're also going to allow crypto payments on X. That's going to be, something that the crypto market and the crypto enthusiasts are, very hot on, because that, potentially gives a huge outlook there for the crypto market. Well, now he's saying that they are adding a chat possibility similar to WhatsApp. By the way, I'll never message you like on WhatsApp or things like that in the comment section. If you see that's not me. It looks like me. They put my picture, but it's not me. So again, be very careful with that. He says, we rebuilt the entire messaging stack. It uses a sort of peer-to-peer based encryption system similar to Bitcoin. I think it is very strong encrypted method. There are no hooks in the X system for advertising. So this is interesting. And the way that they're going at it, similar to Bitcoin encryption. Of course, people want high encryption. Currently, the people are talking about quantum computing and how potentially that could break the SHA encryption, right? SHA encryption that Bitcoin uses, but we're not there yet, and it could be encrypted, again, and they could up the encryption on it. But it's interesting that they're using similar tactics to how Bitcoin is encrypted. I did a course on encryption once a long time ago, and it was in my university days. And sadly, right, the professor in the course had a lesson on Bitcoin. And this was, I was, a broke college student. I think this was around 2013, I think, something like that. And of course, I did not have any money. Around that time, I think Bitcoin's price was around $100, and there was a lot of hype in the encryption community that it was getting to those values. I wish I would have had a little bit more dough back then. And yeah, but hindsight is always 2020. You can't be like, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have bought this asset at that price and that asset at this price. We only can look at what we can potentially do now and learn from the past and try to implement that in the future. Doesn't mean that everything that happened in the past will do similar things, right? Remember, October was supposed to be an amazing month. October because historically it is a great month. But what happened, and I warned this at the beginning of the month, even though we haven't talked a lot this month, I warned at the beginning of the month that, let's wait and see how this month plays out. Even though it has been a good month for the crypto market, things happen. And we saw last year it wasn't a great month. But then November was an amazing month. Now November is starting. Maybe it will be a good month. Maybe it won't be a good month. We'll have to see. Okay. It's going to be very interesting to see how things are going to play out. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say, hey, let's be optimistic. But I always have the monkey on my shoulder. And remember, that monkey helped me avoid October 10th. Because I was in Thailand, I said, okay, I'm in Thailand. I'm on vacation. I'll reduce risk. And I was okay on 10-10, right? But if I didn't have that monkey on my back, I would have had my positions open and I would have, gotten a big whammy there. So it's all about being positive, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice, always do your own due diligence. These are my opinions, my views. I am optimistic, but I always have the monkey on my shoulder, not on my back. I keep pointing at my shoulder. That reminds me that anything can happen and that we need to be very, very careful. Okay. So that's very, very important to remember. Don't forget to check out the links in the description down below to my Twitter and the email list if you are interested. Drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. And don't forget to smash that like button. That's the easiest thing you can do to support the channel. If you made it all the way to the end, Saturday, we do it a little bit slower than other days. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, see you later.